Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org with a video tutorial for the new Boston. In this tutorial we're going to look at the jQuery slide down function. And this is an effect that will slide down a particular element, and it works probably best with divs. So what we're going to do is we're going to be creating a div which slides down at the very top of the page. Now the first thing we need to do is style this div in order to make it look you know, the right size so we can fade it down or slide it down. So the first thing I'm going to do is the inclusion of a style sheet. So I'm going to say link rel equals style sheet. The type is going to be text/CSS, and the source we're going to locate it in CSS/style.css. So let's go ahead and create this style.css file now. Let's just save this file out into a directory CSS style.css. Okay, so we can start to style this div. I'm going to include it first of all here just so we have reference to it. So the div is there, and the div ID is going to be top_message. It's just going to be a message that slides down at the top of the screen. And I'm going to put some content in here as well. So we see you're not logged in. Do you want to sign up? And we can create this as a link just as an example. So now that we've got this in place, you'll see that it looks something like this. We've got we see you're not logged in. Do you want to sign up? Let's go ahead and style the page and this div as well. So the first thing we want to do is change the body, and we want to say margin top 0 pixels and margin left 0 pixels. In fact, no, that's not important. Okay, so now for the top message we want to apply styling. We want to say the width. So the width I'm going to pick at 700 pixels. I'm going to choose a background color for this as black, and I'm going to choose padding as 10px. Let's go for 20px. We're also going to want to change the font size to make it look a bit bigger, so 20 pixels. Let's just take a look at how it's looking. And that's not worked because this is not source, it's href. Okay, let's go back to our page. You can see it looks like this at the moment. We obviously need to change a few things like the font color. So we'll just say color #FFF, that's white. And we also need to center this as well. So margin left auto and margin right auto. So now that we've got the effect that we need, except for the fact that we need to text align center, we can start to actually create something that's going to slide this downwards as soon as we enter the page. Now obviously this isn't functional within an actual website, it would get annoying. However, just the effect itself can be useful. Perhaps you could include it in a specific function on specific pages, and based on the fact if the user's logged in or not. However, for now this is just an example. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do, I've included obviously jQuery.js, that's located in the JS folder, as well as effects.js, which is also located in the JS folder. Now this is extremely simple. We have our div just up here. Now we need to initially have this hidden. So there's one thing we need to change in our style.css, and that is display none. So now when we revisit our page in the browser, you can see it is not active. It's still there as an element, but it isn't shown yet. So using jQuery we can slide this down. So we're going to do this when the document has loaded. So we use $document.ready, and inside of here we create a function and we give it a block. So we have curly parentheses here as well as the function parentheses just here. So I'm going to bring this just down a couple of lines so we can work within. Okay, so now what we want to do, it's a single line to actually create this effect, so it's extremely easy to do and effective. We want to reference top message and then use the slide down function. So and then inside of here we want to say top underscore message with a hash to reference the ID. Then we say dot slide, oh sorry if I spell it correctly, slide down, and then in brackets we can give some optional parameters in a moment. However, just the slide down function on its own will work. So let's go back to our page and hit refresh. You can see that that's slid down this div, and quite nicely as well, and quite smoothly. Okay, so we've got a variety of parameters that we can give here. We can give the speed, we can give the effect type, how the effect actually slides, and we can also give a callback function as well. So I'm going to just go ahead and demonstrate the speed, and if you go over to the jQuery documentation, there's a variety of other options as well as the callback function that you can implement. Okay, so I'm just going to say slow. You'll see that now the speed has decreased very slightly. If I was to go ahead and choose, say, 3000, that equals to 3 seconds, so that slides down a lot slower. Obviously that wouldn't be appropriate. If we choose something like 500 or 300, that's 0.3 of a second, so that slides down pretty quickly. So obviously this example doesn't include, for example, a button to actually make the div go back up again. However, in the next part of the tutorial we're going to be looking at the slide up, and we'll implement a button that will actually slide this back up again.